Good evening, everyone. It's awesome. There's like three people in the room already, so that's really awesome. I only just started doing these live streams a little while ago, and already there's people coming to watch them. So that's really great. It means a lot to me. Um, and you'll probably notice my voice is changing. It's getting more. I'm getting better at talking, and we got Quadrado in here as well. How you going, bro? It's awesome. So um, yeah, like I just all the support I've gotten from everyone is really helping me in this journey of healing, and I'm just overwhelmed by it all. So I just want to thank everyone. Um, I try and make these live streams have a sort of a theme or a set of things that I'm going to talk about. But what I've really enjoyed is that we have these chat conversations in the with the chat, and I read out the chat, and we have this great, like last time I did a live stream like this, we chatted for 4.5 hours. It was amazing. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight, but I'm sure it'll be fun for all of us. I hope it is. So what I'll do is I'll go through everything that I've been planning on talking about first, and then after I've done that, I'll focus on chatting. Um, so I won't. I'll try not get distracted by the comments or read the comments until I've gotten through everything I wanted to talk about first, and then after that, after I've gotten through that, we'll just chat until it gets late. I guess it's 6 o'clock in the evening here. I don't, and it's all different times. There's people here from all over the world, so we're all in different time zones, and um, so you know, however long you can be here and listen and watch and contribute, that'd be great. So I've got my list of stuff to talk about, and so tonight I'm talking about how I'm going through major life change, and I want to talk about there's going to be difficulties and success at the same time going through this, a lot of pain, and there's what it is like to go through change, and what I'm doing to actually make this happen. Um, so with with change, it's such a difficult thing to do. It either happens, it's either forced, like you have no choice. Something happens in your life, and then you can't go back to it, and then the change is forced. And the other way is when you make the change yourself, and that's very difficult to do. Um, and it all depends on what you're wanting to change, how much you're wanting to change. So there's ways to do it, and I I've gotten to a point now with where my because I'm healing not just from the I'm healing myself from the complex post traumatic stress disorder, but I'm also healing from injuries that I had acquired and to my had put myself through last year, which then I had to deal with the ramifications of that, and then I was unwell because of it. So I was basically bedridden for up to 6 months. So I've lost all my fitness, and I'm working to get that back. I'm still very weak, but I'm getting my strength back slowly, and I'm doing it by just knowing that I just do a little bit each day, and I'll get stronger eventually. So what what are the changes I'm making? I'm just looking at my notes. What are the changes I'm making? Well, one change is I'm having my diary. and I'm sticking to it. So you can see the week is filled with stuff. Um, that's one way of being able to stick to what you're trying to achieve. And I'm not really using it as a journal, but I'll talk about journals because last time we talked about journals and we had a great time. So I'll continue on with that topic. But with me having the diary is because I need to be focused on making goals and trying to achieve them. So as you can see, it's this week was filled with stuff. So that's one thing that's enabling change for me. The next thing is how I got to this point. So before I could even get to this point, I had to, um, because I'd started from almost zero. Like um, it was very difficult for me to get any momentum, and then I finally got to a point where I was able to um, get to where I am now, which is I'm able to speak better. Um, Even though my fitness has not come back to a higher level yet, I'm getting fitter slowly. I'm having troubles. I'm trying to quit smoking cigarettes, and I haven't succeeded yet at that, but that will come. Um, but what got me to this point, um, when I was when I was going through some of the most difficult times earlier in the year, and I did speak about this last time, but I'll use this as a something to sort of expand on is that I did journaling and writing poetry and stuff. And so on my most difficult days, it was something that I was able to do, and I could just do it by, um, even if I had 5 minutes spare or if I was going through something really difficult, I could actually take that thing that I was going through and put it into paper. So another thing, and this is something I'm getting a lot of support. So I'm seeing counselors and psychologists, and I'm getting coaching as well for my caring role with my mum. And one of the things that was suggested to me by several different people was to write a self-care list. And so in the start of my diary, I've got a self-care list. And so these are things that I can do to make my life better, or to calm me down, or to help me take stress away, or uh, add something positive to my life. And so the point of this list is that they can be things that are easy to achieve. Mostly, some of them might be things that take a little bit more time and effort. So when I do have a little bit of time, and if I'm in a bad place, things are difficult, I can just basically go to my list and I can look at it and I can pick something out of the list that I can do at that time. And if I've only got 5 minutes or even 2 minutes, I can pick something that takes 2 minutes. So um, like a breathing, sitting quiet and breathing, grounding exercise could be something that I do that takes 2 minutes. So I'll read out my self care list because these are things that for me are important to me and achievable things. So at the top of the list, and there's no real order; they're just all different things. So walks, um, and that's like just going for a walk around the block or going for a walk in nature. Um, and so if I'd only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I can just walk down the street, turn around, and walk back. And if I've got a bit more time, I can walk around the block. If I've even got more time, I can go up into the national park and go for a walk amongst the trees and stuff. I got watching the sunset, which is one of my favorite things to do. Um, that requires being able to have that time at that time of day, but it's quite easy for me to achieve, and it doesn't cost me much money at all. It's only like 4 kilometers I travel, so it's not using much fuel or anything, and I can even walk to the sunset. And the same thing for the sunrise, except it's hard for me to get up early at the moment. Um, but that's something I'm working towards. I've got reading a book. I used to read a lot, and I haven't read for a long time, and so for me to get back into reading is something that's going to be really good. And the more I do that, um, the better I'll get it. When you stop reading for a while, it becomes difficult to read fast and or not necessarily fast, but just to be able to read fluently and enjoy what you're doing. And it's something that you can just pick up, read a couple of pages, and put it down. So you can do it for an hour or do it for 5 minutes. Um, and so that's something I want to get back into. Writing poetry is another thing, and we talked about it, and I'll continue talking about that later. We had a great time that last live stream talking about the benefits of journaling and writing poetry. I've got here the 1% daily exercise. So because I've lost, oh, not lost, because I've gained so much weight, I know it's going to take me a while to actually get back to the weight I was at and get my fitness up. So a 1% daily exercise thing um, is so basically I start off with one push up and 3 sit ups and one chin up and maybe some star jumps. So it only takes me like 2 minutes and not even that. Yeah, 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, and I've done it. And if I keep doing that, not necessarily every day, but if I do it often enough, each time as I get my strength back a little bit, I'll be able to do, 2 or 3 push-ups and 10 sit-ups and you know 3 chin-ups, that sort of thing. So as I get my strength back, I'm able to do more, um, but still keep it at a thing where it's not. I'm not trying to overexert myself. Eat a healthy meal. Quit smoking. Again, I was talking about that. Yeah. Um, Limit alcohol to just once every 2 weeks or even less. It'd be great to not drink at all, but it's something that you know, if I can, keep it to that, I'll be happy. Listen to music. That's something that's been difficult and something I want to get back to. Play guitar. That's something I want to do, but I think it might be a few months before I get back to that. And then practice mindfulness is there. So that's grounding techniques, breathing, and mindfulness techniques. So that's like a part of my toolkit for this. So what am I wanting to achieve in this change, and what is the change? So for me, it's a combination of getting my health back on track, which will be a big part of my healing, and then um, the the major aspect to the change will be to actually change what I'm doing in my life, and so that's going to take a lot to get to that point. And so what I'm wanting to do is um, I'm wanting to find something that I can do for work, and I've sort of touched on this in other streams. I've come to this realization that um, you know I've I think I have an idea of what I want to do for work that would be benefiting me, but also something I could do long term, and that requires study. And I've done a lot of research, and I've now worked out how to do that. So there will be at least 3 or 4 short courses that I'll be doing, so they're achievable, and I can um, not try and overwhelm myself with doing like a serious sort of course. It's something that's within I can with something that I can make it easy enough for me to be able to achieve. But each different course will actually add together to help me get to the job that I want to do. Um, and so there's definitely 3 courses that I need to do, and maybe a fourth that will help me make this change. And because they're short courses and I can do them one after the other, um, it's achievable. So I'm not giving myself this massive thing. And then what I'll do is that, um, once I've completed these courses, like I might actually create my own future. So it's something that's very exciting, but it's also going to be a lot of work. But like I said, they're simple enough courses that, are not like out of reach. So, I think they're each achievable, and then by the end, that's when the change will happen. As far as my life will be completely different then. So I will then have the things that enable me to actually do what I want to do, for work. And most of my life, I've had jobs where, they haven't been too bad, but they haven't I've never had, jobs that had upward mobility. I've always been stuck in basic roles, working in warehouses, or driving a forklift, or packing boxes, or delivering boxes, or working in a factory. And, you know, um, they've been the majority of the jobs I've had in life. And, so this is the change. It's a combination of getting my health on track and getting me, and that's all going to be part of this overall healing process. And, creating my own future, creating my own job, and being able to work for myself, essentially, because I used to work for myself, and that was really good for me. And I can't do the same thing. I can't do the same work I used to do, um, when I worked for myself. But this is something completely new, and it could be this. It could be a job that I do for the rest of my life. So I'm really excited about it. And so the, thumbnail for this video is like a picture of a nature scene where it's, taken from a lookout that's not too far from where I live, on a walking trail. And so that's essentially the change I want to make, is to enable me to spend time in nature, and, make that a job, make that a career. So essentially, I'm not going to go into too much detail, because I think if you're trying to make a major change in your life, you're better off doing it rather than telling everyone what you're doing. And you can make it easier for you to achieve that goal. At least get yourself, halfway there before you actually start really talking about the details. Because, um, sometimes, especially for myself, I tend to, I've had troubles with self sabotage, and, failing, never completing things. And so that's something that's really been daunting for me. And, I've also been able to achieve things as well and complete things. So I know that I can. But what I have found is when I do tell people, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do," they might be negative about it, or tell me that I'm dreaming, that I'm not going to be able to do this, and then that feeds into my own, negativity, and, my own self doubt. So I'm telling you all now what I want to do, but I'm not going to go into detail too much. But it's basically, somehow working within the field of, taking people into nature, so they have great experiences, and, they get to experience nature in a, therapeutic, positive way, but doing it in a very simple way. So, it's achievable, and it's something that I can possibly, charge money for. So how am I going to even get to that point? Well, I explained I'm going to do these short, simple courses that I know I can achieve. But um, I am talking to someone who has been coaching me about this process, and that's been good. So that's, having someone that you can talk to with your idea can help you achieve it. And so I'm going to start straight away. So I'm going to offer free um, walking guides, and basically take people to watch the sunset with me and sit with them and watch the sunset. And I'm going to be doing that with my family and some what friends I have, and that will be me learning how to actually do this. So rather than having this dream to make this job and then try and get there, just going to start. And before I have to worry about getting insurance or starting a business or doing the courses, I can start straight away by engaging with people around me, and that will be really rewarding. I'm excited to do this. I'll get to you know go and watch the sunset with my father, and my mother, and my sisters and my cousin and my uncle and some friends. Like I do have a list of people that I'm going to be offering to do this with, and it'll be just great. Like I'll take them for a bushwalk or watch the sunset. um, and there's so many other things that can be done with nature therapies, and I don't even want to even call it therapy. I just want to think of it as positive experiences in nature. And I'm the person who just helps make it happen. And then down the track, possibly I could make a business out of it, or make it or I could work for someone else who does this already. There are companies out there and businesses that do this sort of work, and there's so much you can benefit. I know personally how much I get out of going to watch the sunset. I know how much I get from going for a bushwalk or sitting around a fire at night, that sort of thing, cooking a simple meal on a stove out in the bush, out in nature. So if I can do that and make a job out of it, this will be a dream. I'd love to do this for the rest of my life. And if I can do something where I'm making other people have a good experience and enrich their life in a really simple way, and this could be just the best thing for me, and also for, it could have a positive benefit for whoever does this, with me, So I'm really happy and excited. Like I'm more excited now than I have been for so long in my life. I think I've really finally found what I want to do. And we also have like disability insurance system here in Australia, and so I could possibly have um, a portion of the people that come and watch the sunset, or go and sit by a river with me, go for a bushwalk, that sort of thing. They could be people who have a disability, and then that way, through their funding, it could then enable me to make a business out of this, so that I can pay. I don't want to make much money. I just want to make enough money to um, pay for food and basic stuff, shelter, and I don't. It'd be great. It'd just be great to have something that means something to me, and so I'm so excited, and I think this has really started because I've started this channel, and I've got these amazing people that I've now become friends with they're here now in the chat, and they watch my videos, and they give me so much encouragement, and so this is like I've taken small steps, and where I'm at now, I'm in order to make it, because it's so difficult to make a change in your life, and I've found that just every time I've tried to make changes, it it's so difficult. Like when changes are forced on you, then you have to adapt to it, and that's different. So you can either adapt to it slowly or quickly, depending on how severe the change is that's happened. And I think that's the same with what you're wanting to achieve. So with I've really thought about this because I failed. I failed so many times. I failed so many times at things, but I have to remember that the things that I failed at, I haven't lost anything from that. Maybe that I've learned things from it. So maybe now I can actually succeed. So I'm so excited, like, and it's made me feel like I'm I've got a goal to I can see where I want to get to, and I know what I need to do to get to that point, and I know that in order so that I don't fail at it, I have to make the steps, each step simple and achievable, and have the long term goal of making a business out of it. But like I was saying, I can just start straight away and have experiences with people around me, trialing and learning how to do it. Um, so that's the change. The change is actually creating my own job and maybe working for myself, which will be the best thing for me. So I've already talked about what the change is, and I've like talked about the progress that I've made to get to this point. And I know I've got a lot more work to do. So um, I want to keep working on this healing process from the complex trauma, and so that needs to be a big part of my continuation of enabling this change, because the change is not it's my health, and it's the complex trauma, and it's also creating a job. So what got me through to get to this point was journaling. And last time we had a stream, I showed this book, and it was my journal book from earlier in the year. And what I did today was um, I went through it and I looked at all the stuff I'd written, and I read back things. And so I've picked out ones. And like, if you guys are all happy to just listen to me read some of this stuff, I've picked out ones that are interesting or uplifting or about the pain I was going through. But I certainly, this book's got stuff in it that's, sometimes I had a real bad day, and I would just write down how angry and upset I am at the world. So I'm not going to read any of those things. I'm going to make sure they're all just constructive ones. So the this is awesome. So this first one, um, this is like it's like a letter I wrote, and I had a nightmare that day or that night, and so I wrote a letter to the nightmare, and like I was like, my way of trying to get rid of the nightmares, to dispel them, to tell them, to go away. So I wrote this letter to the nightmare, and I'll read it out to you. Dear nightmare, thank you for your interests and correspondence. Sadly, there is no need for your services. Our company policy is not to take cold calls or hawkers, unsolicited advances. Take it from me. Find someone else to inhabit. Pleasant dreams is our business. We are anti-greed, not for profit. Cease and desist, or else look out. So that was that's what the power of journaling. I'd had a nightmare, and my way of dealing with it was to like write a letter to the nightmare and tell it to go away. I might come across ones and then choose not to read them, because here's a good one. Yeah. You can't force inspiration. It can flow when you are warmed up, though. If it is there, it flows unhindered. You better have a pen and paper ready. And so that's me talking about journaling and inspiration, um, specifically. So a lot of this stuff can, the beauty of these journals is, you practice. So you just pick up the pen and you just start writing. Sometimes if you're really angry, you can write angry, happy, you write happy. If you just have a blank mood, you just write thoughts, whatever comes to your mind. You might have seen something through your day, and so but it takes practice. And the big thing about it is they don't all work out. So like out of this whole book, there's whole chunks of it that are something that and not really worthy. This one's called self-care because this was all written during that time at the start of the year when I was going through hell. So this is called self-care. Escape to a place alone. It takes as long as it takes. Just enough to listen. Not enough to satisfy all. Something to do to pass the time. Just something. Something. Anything to take me away. Today has been tough. Nothing is enough. A glimpse of rest from being stuffed. Something to do. So much more. This is self-care and not a bore. So as I was going through this stuff, I was documenting it like a diary. So I was learning about self-care. So I wrote a thing about it. And that's why journaling is such a powerful thing. Whatever it is you write in there, whether it's poetry or a short story or just your thoughts, or it could be a diary where you talk about what you've done through the day. So there's so many things you can do. This next one is a really good one for positivity and I guess getting through really tough times. Just keep going. When it seems there is no chance, each step is pain until the clouds break. The birds are singing, and a breeze reminds me things got better. By a turn of the head, just keep going. So even though I was having trouble getting through stuff, like I was telling myself just to keep going, just keep going, So this is what got me to this point now. So in order for me to actually get to this point, I had gone through this process, and then now I'm at a point where I can actually do things to actually go through a change in my life. So this is something really that means a lot to me, because these things is what got me to now. And now I'm at this point, I can actually heal and get my health back on track, which has been such a difficult thing. And for a long time, I felt like it was not going to be possible. I had no hope. So that's why they're the themes that I often talk about in these. And obviously, I'm not reading out the angry stuff. I'm going to read out the stuff that was to do with my sort of recovering. Circles. I have to stop talking about pain. Our relationship already strained. The heavy load on the brain. Emotions shocked and drained. The topic quickly changed, edging back to the same. I can't help but feeling lame, trapped and inevitably chained. So that's sort of talking about being stuck in thought circles, negatives, and it is a little bit negative about being trapped and chained, but it's also it's also about fighting against that. So it's fighting back against the negative thing and saying, I mean, on this channel, I'm talking about pain, so, and I'm telling myself here, I've got to stop talking about pain. So this, I mean, you have to talk about it to a point, but there's a point where it's not helping you, you know. Um, anytime, sorry, I'll start again. Anytime is the time to live. Take the guilt and shame. Build a boat with it. Anywhere is a place to be. Build a house with the rest. You don't need plans. Just keep it simple. For both, just to keep out the water. Love yourself with all its faults. So I guess, yeah, I was trying to understand that even though I was living in a tough time, like it's any time's a time to live, and you have to actually deal with your own guilt and shame, but with take that stuff and build something from it, and keep it simple. If the only thing either the boat or the house has to do is to keep the water out from it, so you have to still, um, it has to serve a certain purpose, but it can be simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. And I guess at the end, love yourself with all its faults. Self learning to love yourself is a big part of healing. um, Ease tension, find a way through, be diplomatic, don't let it get to you, be brave, make a break. They can't tell you what to do. Live your life, it's not theirs. Do the same, let them live theirs. So that's like, these are like this one's like I guess just like a mantra, or me thinking of telling myself what I need to do, and giving myself courage and strength. And it's great to be able to read back stuff that I'd written in this most difficult time in my life, and to be able to say, I wrote these stories about getting through tough times and finding something positive, or even when you think there's no hope, or there's nothing, no good that's going to come out of anything, and um, that you're in this really difficult place. I was writing these things to actually give myself that courage to actually get through them. Like, this is while I was basically bedridden while I was writing this stuff, and so I would be lying in bed just writing. That's all I could do. Um, the next one is, don't worry about me, worry about yourself. I am not your concern. You have no agency over me. Leave me alone. So that one's like, you can tell sometimes I'm pretty. On that day, I was trying to basically tell people to get stuffed, to just, Okay, here's one. This one I wrote, and it's about the actual. There's quite a few like things in here that are written about the act of writing and journaling. And so they're not always poems. They're just like little things that I've written, and um, so this one's about the act of writing itself. 5 minutes spare. Fill it with some words. Create a world. Silence the sounds. Keep the play fair. Clean out the wounds. Hold off expression for a few minutes more. So it's like talking about the act of self-care in doing the journaling. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to explain these things as I go along, and I hope it doesn't spoil it, but it's good to actually explain what I'm trying to say. When you start something, do what you can to finish it. If times get tough, see if you can persevere. When they tell you no, don't listen to them. When you climb a mountain, rest and take in the view. So these things help me get through the most difficult time in my life, writing these things. So um, like poems and short stories that I wrote in this book, good ones like that I wanted to keep, I would type them up on the computer to keep. But a lot of the stuff I'm reading out tonight is stuff that I haven't put on the computer. And I talked about putting this book in next time I have a outdoor fire in the fireplace. I'm going to put this book in there and use it to start the fire as a sort of cleansing thing, because this book contains so much. There's a lot of angry stuff in here that I won't be reading, but they writing this angry stuff of how much people hurt me and things was therapy. So but I try to have balance where it's happy and sad, and there's the angry ones, and I'm not going to read the angry ones here, but that's why now. So by reading them out tonight means that I haven't lost these. As long as this video exists, this stuff, these things that these things I've written will be there. I guess this one's about being lost. Lost to the ocean. The bubbles turn to foam. Washed up with rubbish. The smell distinct. Left to break. Leaving a mark. Until the next tide sends it back to be lost again. I guess that one is like these are all sort of self-explanatory, but I guess I like to just quickly talk about them and what they meant to me when I wrote them, and what their purpose is. So the hurt is real and many. What hurts more is the betrayal. I never hurt her. I was the one hurt. I worked to heal. Like a stepped on seedling. Repair my limbs and seek out the sunlight. Breathe for you. So yeah, that's about being hurt, and being stepped on, and like recovering from that somehow. This one's like I got a lot of help and support through calling crisis lines and helplines and free counsellors and things using the telephone. We got several services here in this country, and that are free and 24 hours, some of them. So this one's about having people to. This is like saying thank you to whoever it was, and at the time. And it's also about support, maybe from, if you have people around you that are supporting you, to um, just like you all here tonight, um, and the people we've um, that we've all found each other, that we're going through this um, difficulty of what it's like to have complex trauma. And not just complex trauma, like people come to this channel that are dealing with stuff. So this is about having those helplines and those crisis phone call places that you can just call and talk to someone. Thank you for being there. It helps me to get through the day, giving me hope, reminding me to care for myself, someone to talk to when I need it the most. It's so, if you've got these services in your country and you need to speak to someone, use them. It's such a powerful thing. Um, I'd even donate a little bit of money each month to one of them that's helped me out. I don't got very limited funds, but there's this little bit of money I can give them. So it's my way of saying thanks back. Um, this one's I wrote today, so I guess it's called today, but it's about the whole point of journaling and writing your thoughts down is like, you it, you're letting out whatever's happening to you at that moment, or that day, or that week. But anyway, I won't go into too much detail. Today, one thing today, just one, at least one poem to guide me through onto the next day, just as the previous guided me here, and the one before that. This one is neutral, not happy or sad, angry or bitter. It just is. More than that, it gives me purpose and strength. The one thing for today, what I need. So this is all this self-referencing, and it's talking about the act of journaling itself. So to start again and letting go, watching the sunset, breathing the fresh air, finding myself again, learning to love again. So I'm saying this stuff to myself to make myself, like, somehow create my way out of the mess I was in. And so it's such a powerful tool. So if you don't like journaling or writing something, like, find something that has that same sort of nourishing thing. With self-care, I guess, cooking a meal that tastes good, and if you enjoy it, whatever it is. 'Cause it's amazing. These are the things that actually help us get through the most toughest times in our lives. So this one again is about writing. So in the process of journaling, like, um, you got to practice, and you might write something, and you scratch it, you turn the, but they don't all work out. Most of the time, you've got like pages of stuff that you don't want to read again, or it's not worth reading again. Um, and if it's stuff that you've put in there to let out all the pain and anger, um, you don't want to read it again. The whole point is getting it out on somehow, that it's not stuck, trapped inside. So, but this one's about the act of journaling. The page, the page turns, not on its own. The pen writes only by being held. The words flow, not without pain. If only I could cry instead. The poem emerges in an instant by the eternity from where it came. now trapped between sheets of paper, only to be seen for brief moments. I feel for its demise. Its fate is sadness, forgotten in an abyss of dreams. So yeah, writing about writing, it's you can write about anything, and it's getting that practice. So that's why I do that stuff, but sometimes it works out that it's worth reading again because it's interesting or it has something that you can get from it. This one's about like going, when you have like setbacks, and so that's basically it. But I'll read it now. To return after a break, lose a few days, looking deep within, and to lean on something, moments drifting away, morning to afternoon. So that one thing with that is that when I was stuck in that period of my life, it just seemed like nothing was going anywhere, and there were all these days where nothing would happen, and setbacks, and time just would go. It would just be. It's like I had to just keep living, and nothing was happening. So sometimes nothing would happen, but I guess I was still, by doing this writing and journaling, it sort of allowed me to go through that healing or processing what was happening. And again, this is another one that's actually literally about what I was going through. So it's like a diary type thing. So I'll read it now. Laying in bed in a dark room, writing, and not reading what I am writing, searching for motivation. I must have found it laying down, pages being filled. It does not matter, the content is plain, experiential, and true. I am still stuck. This is helping me. So I guess that's like what I've been saying all night with this stuff. That's something I wrote about what I was doing, and it's interesting going back and reading these things, because these are the things that just sort of helped me get through that period. And some of them are, now that I'm reading them out here, they're not lost, and I hope people are getting stuff out of hearing these. Such is the escape at a time most needed, to take me away from all the confusion, to a place where the words make the world, where it is safe for a while to breathe and recover, treading water rather than sinking under. I see a rescue boat, so I raise my hand high. It is far off. I hope that it sees me, so they can drag me aboard, resuscitate if need be. They're filling my lungs with water. The weight of my clothes hinders my floating. If they see me, I am saved. So big is the ocean. I am just a speck, a glimmer of hope. So that's being this really bad, dark place where you think, you need to be rescued, and you see that there's something out there that could rescue you, but you're being weighed down by your clothes are all wet, and you're getting the waves are causing you to take in water, but it's all about having that glimmer of hope. And that's having that glimmer of hope got me through that time. You know, I was going through hell and a lot of pain, but it was that glimmer of hope. This is another one about having the support through those phone helplines, waiting for the call, someone on the other line, there to help. So many problems. Solve what you can, even the smallest ones. Day by day, one by one, the phone rings. I have some good news. Progress has been made. Later, I will make the call. I have my struggles. Someone on the other line, there to help. And I guess that's like having all you people here and that watch my videos and we chat in the chat and in comments and stuff. Is this has become my support group. You know, we're all supporting each other here and we're encouraging each other and we're all here for each other. And it means so much to me having this and having you people here helping me. Who knows how it will be? Things turn out the way they do. All we can do is deal with the changes. The truth is what it is. What will be may never be. Knowing what is next is pain. Living in the moment is better. Ride along the timeline. The source is on the other side. Worry about after is still in the past. None can tell you otherwise. Everything is an operation without any clear guidelines. Wherever you stand, the spot has shifted. Knowing is unknowing. Believing is falsity. Claiming possession is holding nothing. Nothing makes sense. All we have is our senses. So I guess I was a bit lost at that point. This one's like a sadish one, but it's, I don't know. I guess it's about maybe seeing things and being sad, or being in a position where you've lost your way, or you're no longer as strong as or fit, or you're injured, you know, or you're alone. I guess it's about not necessarily being alone, or maybe even if things are sad or painful, that you can somehow sharing that, like we're doing here, like sharing it is helping us. So we have sadness, but we can share, and pain. We have pain and sadness, but we are working on getting through it. So this is like a little short story. The bird sings to the tree, a song of mourning. The tree thinks the bird is sad, but the bird's song is about the tree being stranded, twisted, and alone. But it is not alone. The bird is here, and the song as sad as it is, has beauty. The bird sings the second verse, and the tree still can't see its meaning, that it is infested and rotting, insignificant and forgotten. But the bird honors it in song. The chorus is bold and admiring. The song paints a picture. So the tree pictures itself. Now the third verse will be even clearer. It's about the bird and the tree. How they became friends in the winter. But the tree is alone most of the year. And the bird is just as lonely as the tree. So the tree is right that the bird is sad, but only as sad as the tree. Sorry, that's a sad one, but I guess like you can be alone and you're not alone. And I don't know, I feel I'm not as much alone now. So all of the pain and all of the hurt means nothing now. We're at the end. All the silence, all of the screaming won't bring back time that is spent. All of the pain and all of the hurt means nothing now. So I guess that's like letting go of pain somehow, make it meaningless, by this. It's good to have. I mean, I don't. A lot of these ones are about getting through stuff, but sometimes I'd write just interesting things. I don't know, or bits about nature, but this one's called The Ant. The ant carries something great, 3 times its size and double its weight. Far from its nest, it marches through the undergrowth maze of grasses. Onwards, fearless, fumbling, twitching, stops at a water droplet for some drinking. The gentle rain is really lots of drops, all falling off tempo together. When you stop and listen, you hear the rhythms. All of the drops that merge make a stream. So um, I hope, yeah, I got that one, that bird one. Um, yeah, there's so much power and healing in just writing your thoughts down on paper. It doesn't have to be poetry. It could just be your thoughts. It could be anything, you know. And like I said, you know, that there'd be, I use the journal books to just let those, get those emotions out, those difficult stuff. And I specifically picked out, you know, something that had something positive or to do with getting through impossible times, or somehow getting hope again, finding motivation, or persevering. So yeah, that's that was my journal book from the start of the year. And well, thank you everyone who's here watching, listening. You know, I think I was writing these things to give myself a reason to keep going, and it worked because I'm here now. You know, and I haven't written any poems or creative writing for a few months now. I've been busy learning, focusing on taking the steps to do the healing, and I just haven't. But you know, I'll get back to writing again. And now that I've read these out, I'm going to start another journal book and start doing it again and make it a habit. So um, the great thing about doing that is that you end at the end of it, like you've let out these emotions, and then you've also got stuff to show for it. You've got little poems or short stories or whatever. Um, so I haven't been paying any attention at all to the chat. I hope people have been in there chatting to each other, and while I've been reading, and it looks like there's a lot of people chatting to each other, and there's like, yeah, so glad we're all here and we're all on this journey. I've got so I've got so much work to do, you know. Like I was saying at the start of the video, um, I'm still really unfit. So the, working on my health will be the next big thing. I'll start reading chats now, and we'll just keep chatting until we all get tired. You know. Oh, Paula says sorry for chatting, but I've been listening. No, look, that's awesome. You were chatting to each other, and like you were listening. You can chat and listen at the same time. You know, and in between the poems and stories, like I was sort of explaining them too. So um, I'm just overwhelmed to see like the chat going off. There's people having chats to each other. It's making me smile. So don't be sorry at all. Quadrata says, thank you, brother. Well, thank you for being here. I hope you saw I've done the first sunset chat video. It's on my channel. Next will be a sunrise one coming up soon. And I'm so glad you really put me onto that, because I was making sunset, sunrise videos last year, but you just tell me a great idea to use them as talking meditation type things, and I really enjoyed doing it. So I'll be keep doing that. So I've created a playlist on my channel that I'll just, whenever I get a chance, I'll do it. So there's a lot of praise and thank yous and love hearts and flowers and smiley faces. This is just, I'm having the best time tonight, and I'm feeling a lot of love here. So yeah, sunrise chat, says Red Rose Poetess. Yeah, that'll be the next one. It'll probably be at that place where there'll be sounds of cars and stuff, probably. But or maybe I'll take up. I've got directional microphones, so maybe I can point them away from the sounds where the cars are coming from, and I can get a bit of birds and me talking without the sound of the cars. So, but each one I'll get better at doing, as I get there. I even thought of having like a silent one where I mute the audio, so all you do is you're just seeing it, and it's about what you're seeing rather than, but maybe I can put the chat on. I can record the audio separately, and so there's so many things I can. This is awesome, like having something to do that's creative. That it's just, I think us all being here together and sharing is such a positive thing. So good to see everyone chatting to each other. Yeah, you have support, Luke. Thank you, Poetess. Quadrata says, step by step, brother, we all can see your big improvement. Thank you so much, man. Brother, that means a lot. And yeah, I've got a long way to go, but I've made it pretty far already. And that's just having you people here giving me courage, and Kat says one of my favorite things at sunrise is the magpies singing at dawn. Their bird song is otherworld. It is. Oh, they're magpies are birds we have in Australia, and they've got the most. If you haven't heard their call, type it in and listen to it on YouTube. They've got the most amazing song. At dawn, especially, is when they sing out. It's something special that we get here in Australia, and all over Australia. Magpies are found all over. So, Poetess says, Luke, no problems about the audio either way. It will just be real life and nature in motion as you film it. That's awesome. That's it. It's a great thing to do. I'm just going to keep doing that. So Paula says, hugs back to everyone. That's awesome. Hugs to you. I'm having such a good time tonight here. So that bird that bird poem got me. It's it's actually like a sequel to another poem I wrote about the bird in the tree. So um, I just love how creative stuff, and if you find it difficult writing stuff, like find something else that is your creative outlet. Could be cooking, whatever. There's got to, there's something that will you can change it up, let yourself free in the moment, be part of it, and get something out of it. Look, I've got to blow my nose, so I'm just gonna. Much better. Uh, Red Rose says, "Cat so gorgeous." I just imagine. I think you're talking about the bird, the magpies. Yeah, magpies are awesome birds. They're really intelligent, and they become really friendly around people, and you can they'll steal your food if you're out having breakfast in the morning. They'll come and take your food, but currawongs are worse at that. They'll swoop in, and if you look if you turn away, they'll, especially if you're eating fruit or something like that. But they're still awesome, you know. And magpies are just, yeah, they're awesome. Quadrata says, we can all agree that meeting Luke was one of the best thing the algorithm did lately. Yes, I was personally at the bottom of the pit, and then found Luke, and it felt so not no no more alone. Thank you, brother. It does show that the algorithm can work, you know, and that places like YouTube can be this really amazing place where we can have a shared healing experience, and not just healing, we're becoming friends with each other now. We're all like, I feel like you're all my friends now. So I totally agree. Yes, Red Rose Poetess says, yeah, I'll have to listen to them now and be able to hear. Yeah, totally. Just type in Magpie song, and you'll love it. There's, in fact, in Australia, there's a magpie that became friends with a staffy dog, and at someone's house, and they love each other. They just hang around. Like, I forget the name of them, but if you type in um, magpie and dog become friends or something like that, you'll find it's such an awesome thing. Like, they hug each other and they follow each other around, and the authority, because they put all of their life up on Instagram and stuff. Um, the authorities came and took the magpie away because they were like, oh, it's a wild animal and you're not allowed to have it living with you. And then everyone everyone got behind the family and said, no, let them get back. So after like a couple of weeks, the government like agreed to let the magpie come home and live, because wasn't like it would fly away and live wild in nature, and then it would come back to the house every day, and it wasn't being kept. It just happened naturally that this dog and this cat, sorry, this dog and this bird became best friends. I think it's Peggy and something, but yeah, if anyone knows the name of it's pretty awesome story. Magpies are so cool. Like, they're one of my favorite birds too. Thank you, Hayoka. This is my support group as well. Big heart. Yep. Yep. It is. That's what I like. This is, I guess, what support groups should be. Hey, like, people sharing, and um, I mean, tonight, like me sharing the stuff, those stuff I'd written was such a therapeutic healing thing for me, and to be able to talk about how much it means to me. It's like I think we've all got like a good future ahead. We're here for each other. So Paula says, I love that stuff. Oh, yeah. So Paula makes videos as well. I have to check that out. I'll check out your channel. Um, Red Rose Poetess says, and all because Luke was vulnerable enough to just reach out to others in his first live stream. Thank you. I was really, yeah, that's it. I was just like lonely, and I was like, what do I do? Like, and I'm going through all this stuff, in my life as well. And I thought, this is just such, you know, I have troubles. I've got anxiety going out in public, not, and yeah, but I am isolated, and I have been alone, but I'm not alone anymore. Now we've all found each other. It's like, so awesome. And like, Laradis Quadrata says, that YouTube algorithm works. It worked and it allowed us to find each other. So awesome. Paula says, yeah, animals are so, mate. They are. They sort of, they have personalities, and you know, whether they're domesticated animals or domestic animals, or whether they're wild animals. It's like they're all, even if they don't speak in words, and they speak to us, and they can sense if you're a good person. They're not afraid of you. Um, and like, I've got anxiety, not all the time, but I do have it at times, and like, I can totally see why there's animals out there that you see, wild animals in the bush, in nature, and they've got like super anxiety because like they're worried about getting eaten. They're like, they're always worried that any second they're going to get chomped on by some predator animal. So they've got anxiety too. But at the same time, they still keep doing it. So there's a lesson in that. Like, they don't stop just because they're afraid. So Paula says, thanks, Luke, for sharing your poetry. I'll let you know the channel name later because I've forgotten it. Lol. I think it's Sooty Town. Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to check it out. For sure. The Red Rose Poetess says, no, you are not alone anymore. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. It's so good to have you here. Paula says intelligence. I think I'm guessing you're referring to animals. The animals, they are very intelligent things. People, some people think they're dumb or something, and they're not. They're super smart. They've got emotions and personalities, and some animals actually do speak. With language to each other. This is something that's amazing. When you're in the forest. Sorry, I just got to blow my nose again. Sorry, you got to hear that. Um, all good, all clear now. Animals in the forest, they all talk to each other, and they, like, birds, and like, if there's a snake that eats birds' eggs that's going through an area, you'll get like one type of bird will put out its call, and the other birds know that's the call for the snakes coming into the area. So they actually speak to each other across species. You know, it's amazing. You know, and they also protect each other too. Like there'll be like birds are so they can be the most vicious animals as well. Like they'll 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 kill each other. They'll gang up on each other. We've got birds in Australia that will gang up on other birds and chase them out of areas, because of territorial things. But at the same time, they'll also help each other. So we had these tawny frogmouth owls living in our roosting in trees here at home, and they had babies. And this is a story my mum experienced, and she told me about. She said the parents would go away and leave the babies on their own to go get food, and during the daytime, and these I can't remember what the bird was. There was a bird that came into the nest to try and attack the baby tawny frogmouth owls, and they're not actual owls. They get that name, but they're not actual owls. But they look very similar. They're awesome birds. But then this other species of bird came to the rescue to protect the babies in the nest. Like it wasn't even their own babies or their own species, but they came and helped them. And it's like, but they can also be the most amazing, caring, friendly, sharing sort of things. So I'm amazed at stuff with birds and animals, but especially with birds. Paula says, I'm going to get back into it. And you're inspiring me to get back into it. Yes, animals are really intelligent, therapeutic. Awesome. If I've inspired you to get back into making videos and stuff, that's awesome. Get back into it. So I've been inspired by you all as well. But if we're sharing this inspiration. So Ultra Hayoka, how you going, brother? He says, I might be a bit more quiet today since I'm beyond exhausted and my thoughts are so negative, but it's good to also just feel the vibe of the group. Thanks to everyone being here. Big heart. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here yourself. And that sounds tough what you're going through, mate. Like that being exhausted is from going through tough times. It does make you exhausted. So I had that thing earlier in the week where I got triggered and I realized a crucial thing that I need to do to calm myself down when I first get triggered. So I had a breakthrough in my learning of healing and stuff. But what happened was I ended up insomnia for like 2.5, 3 days, and I've only just sort of come back from it. But it's awesome. Like I've gotten through it, and so Hayoka, you'll be right after, and hopefully tonight's given you extra recharge emotionally and happiness, and just been a good place. This is awesome. I'm having so much fun here. Just reading these comments and everyone chatting to each other. It's so good. Yes, Red Rose Poeta says that's also. I really want to see your filming of the animals. I do too now. So you'll have some new subscribers after tonight. Cat says noisy miners are like the chihuahuas of the bird world. They are. Noisy miners are like they're one of the bully birds I was talking about. They actually chase up all these other birds out of an area. And they harass them. So they'll and then they're fearless too. They're these little birds, and they'll go after big birds because they're in a gang. They're in a group. So they attack in a gang, and they're called noisy miners because they're really noisy. They squawk really. They're pretty annoying. So we've got they're a native here in Australia, but they do a lot of damage because they drive other birds away. Like um, they make areas of urban environments, especially. It means that you don't have all the different birds there anymore because they chase them away. So then they're not the nicest ones. They are annoying. I agree. There you go. Hey, okay. I know Paula says, "Well, I love birds looking out for each other." That's it. They do. It's amazing how they do that. You know. Hayoka says, "I was just thinking of an owl." That's awesome. It's how good is it when you're thinking of that and then it appears? It's magical when that stuff happens. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, I'm getting grins from everyone tonight for making me smile. Like I'm smiling. How powerful is that? That we're able to have this conversation, and I'm just feeling so good. So thank you, everyone. Like, and now I'm back, and now I'm reading the chats. So this is cool. We'll just keep chatting until we're tired. Like, um, you know, I didn't. Paula says, "Oh, I didn't see the grin. Busy typing." Well, now quick. If you look up now, I'm smiling again. See, there you go. I got a big smile and a laugh. Smile and a laugh. Yeah, if that's it. Um, to Paula from Red Rose is like, yeah, you'll have to see it and replay it. Yeah, well, that's it. I'll be watching the replay because I want to hear myself read these poems and short story stuff back. So, and it's sort of like saved them now because I haven't typed those ones up. So now I haven't lost them. They're here on this video for as long as YouTube's around. So that's awesome. And Red Rose Poetess says to Heyoka, I wrote a nature poem today, and that poem was a hoot owl. There you go. There you go. There's another owl, and it just happened to be you wrote one today, Red Rose. So it's amazing how that works. Just coincidence. There's a magic to it, but it's also just happens sometimes. And it's amazing. So good to see all the emoticons here. Everyone's having it like it's showing a lot of love and happiness and smiles and tears. That to me, that says we're having a really awesome chat. Red Rose Poetess says, Luke, I was so happy that I was able to get my voiceovers to start working again on Instagram. Like, that's it. I saw one of yours and that was awesome. I want to, you were saying you got a second Instagram account. I've got to find that. Or maybe I don't know. But I've got to go back through and what you've got there, and because you've got a lot of your poetry. Everyone, if you look up Red Rose, the Red Rose Poetess on Instagram, you'll find her poetry, and she does amazing nature poetry, really thoughtful and uplifting, and there is that balance of not necessarily melancholy, but um, I don't know how to describe it. It's so emotional. I really love it. So I'm gonna make sure I go through and read all your stuff that's up there, and everyone else here should do it as well, because it's really awesome. And that one, I saw the video you sent me, and one of Red Rose's poems, because she writes these beautiful writing handwritten poems, and she does the voiceovers as well. But so she does that, but also the handwritten, and does the handwritten with the voiceover. And then she there was a musician that wrote a song on piano about one of her poems, and the song, it's amazing. It like fits the actual. Um, it's like the poem and the song that was written on piano is like perfect match. So that must have been, you must be just like, to do that sort of collaboration is great. So, and we're going to share our poetry as well. You know, so I'm so glad to have found you, or we found each other. Um, we're all inspiring each other. You know, and we all do stuff creative, like in some form. So Red Rose says, "Thanks, Slick." Well, Ed, that's you worthy for the shout out. Shout out! Everyone's got to read your stuff. So I hope they do. Hope they find you there, because there's your poetry's there on Instagram. And um, yeah, check it out. Um, Hayoka's having a laugh. That's good. That's awesome. And that means you're smiling as well. If you're laughing, you're smiling. So good. Red Rose Poetess says, I think I'm just going to do the voiceovers on that feed. Yeah, keep doing that. I really love the voiceovers of having the poem and then the voiceover. Paula's asking Red Rose, are you on YouTube, Red Rose? I don't know if she is, so she'll answer. That's awesome. Hayoka's saying thanks, Red Rose. Made him laugh. It's good we're all making each other have laughs and giggles and smiles. Like, how good's that? Like, we've all gone through tough stuff in our life, and we're all found each other, and we're making each other happy and smiling and laughing. So that's such a powerful and positive thing. So I'm just overwhelmed with this. It's like and someone said earlier, like I did that. I was made myself vulnerable, especially in those first few videos, with that first one especially, and I was so nervous to do it. Um, but I'm finding it um, not that difficult now. Like, especially like right now, I'm sitting here I'm just sitting here on my bed in my bedroom, chatting away. But this is to real people. You're all real people that we're chatting here, and it's so good. Just looking at the chat, it's so good. Kaoka says, I wasn't expecting myself to be laughing today. That's so good that you've been laughing and smiling, mate, and we've been able to all help each other do that. Like, that, and again, that last chat we had, we went for 4.5 hours, and it was like so much fun. We had this really amazing chat that just we were talking about stuff that no one ever really talks about. So it's good we've got our place here. We can keep doing this, and I'll keep doing it once a week. Maybe things are going to get pretty tough in the next few months, so I mightn't be able to do them for a while, but I'll keep it regular while I can. Um, I just, you know, overwhelmed. I keep saying that, but I just love how everyone's chatting to each other. Red Rose says to Paula, with my slow cell signal, takes all I can do to post reels on etc. on Instagram. Yeah, that must be difficult when you don't have, like, you know high speed internet. Paula says, I've got sons suffering. That's why I care so much. Yeah, and Quadrata's saying hard as well. So sorry to hear that about the suffering, but it does make you stronger, and it also makes you more compassionate. So it's many lessons that you learn from having to, especially caring for other people, and or having caring for people that you love as well. It's very humbling, and it's difficult and painful at the same time, but it really opens you up to being able to love and feel emotion. Paula says, "Oh, Red Rose says to Hayoka, we're all sending all the smiles to you tonight." Yes, we are, Hayoka. We're so glad you're smiling, and we're smiling. But we're sending you smiles for you to smile. This is awesome. Paul says, "Okay, thanks, Red Rose. I'll try getting on your platform later. I'm pretty useless at tech." Yeah, I am too. I can do some things, like I can learn some software programs. Like, I've learned to do basic stuff on DaVinci to do video editing, but only just basic stuff. Um, so you're not alone there. Um, I just discovered the other day I'm still discovering stuff, but, like, it's um, just doing this. I'm just using a webcam on my computer. That's why, like, the video quality is low, but that doesn't matter as long as we can all hear each other. My voice is, like, not the clearest because it's just the microphone that's in my laptop, but that doesn't matter. You know, I used to make music and record music, so I know how to get a good audio sound and mix it and process it and stuff. But it doesn't matter for this, as long as it's not annoying to clear enough. If it's clear enough, you know, it's not costing me anything. I've already got this laptop here, so it's so awesome that we can just live stream like this, and we can have these, like YouTube having this massive live stream. But yeah, doing things like uploading videos takes a long time, and especially if you've got low bandwidth on your phone or your internet. So, but you just persevere. It's a lot of heart emojis and stuff in the chat, and A lot of smiling, happy faces, emojis. So it's awesome to see. Quadrata, Loratus Quadratus asks, brother, do you sing and play the guitar? Actually, I do have a song on my YouTube channel where I sing and play guitar. It's called Shadows on the Wall. It's about like the Plato's allegory of the cave. When you can hear, it's one of the few times I actually sing and play guitar. I recorded it 2 years ago, pretty much now, like this time of year, 2 years ago. But if you go to my channel and in the search function, type in Shadows on the Wall, you'll be able to listen to a song I sing about, which I wrote about Plato's cave. It's probably like, yeah, one of my sort of a song that I'm, you know, I put a lot of into that song, and it's one of the few times where I actually played the guitar and sung at the same time, and that's something I couldn't do before that. Like, I did a lot of recording of music back in the day, using computers and stuff where you can record all the parts separately, and I don't think that's cheating or anything. It's just using a thing, but it was an achievement for me to be able to play guitar and sing a song at the same time, and remember all the lyrics and stuff. So check it out, Shadows on the Wall. Do a search for it on there. And if you know the story of Plato's allegory of the cave, it makes it even more sense, but you don't have to. I just saw it, well, yeah, it's still got a cool story, but like once you it's one of those, it's probably one of my I put a lot of work into that song. So yeah, you can actually, but I haven't played, brother. I haven't played for a while. I haven't played for a year now, or just under a year. Like, there was a few months ago I started playing again, but I had troubles to start the habit. So that's something I'm working at, trying to get back to, is playing guitar again. So I might have to skip a few comments. But again, like, if people are chatting back and forth, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to hear me read out all the comments, because everyone here is reading the comments together. But that's cool. Like, Poetess and Paula are, guiding each other through doing stuff, inspiring each other how to make Instagram feeds and how to use the tech. So we're helping each other in so many ways here tonight. How good's that? We're encouraging each other and sharing. The Red Rose Poetess says, yeah, because of all the other Red Rose Poetess feeds, I've absolutely no idea who's behind those ones. That I'm sorry that that's happened to you, that people have cloned your stuff and ripped you off. They've taken copies of your work and then tried to show it as them. So, but yeah, anyone here, like, I've found people have found me on my Instagram, because I've got my Instagram link on my YouTube bio. So, Paula, you can find me there as well. Ultra Hayoka says to the Red Rose, that's so kind of you guys. Means the world to me, really. Got some little happy tears. That's it, mate. See how much, that's the love and you can tell when that happens. That's because this is a real, authentic conversation between caring, empathic, loving people that want to, and we're having fun at the same time too. It's um, and don't worry. Like, yeah, I cried before. Everyone saw me cry when I read that Bird in the Tree poem. Yeah, happy tears. That's it, mate. I haven't been able to cry much for the last since like October last year. I've cried 5 times in the last 6 times now, if you include tonight, and that's just another instance then. And crying, letting out your emotions through tears is such a, it's such a it's not therapeutic. What's the word? It's such a release of emotion, and it shows you're feeling, and you do feel better afterwards. Sometimes you cry because something's moves you, like music can make me cry. Reading poetry and stuff like that can make me cry. And you know, other stuff like grief and pain can make me cry as well. So, but whatever the reason for it, you do feel better after being able to cry. And it's the worst when you can't, and I haven't been able to, because it's like for several reasons. So I feel so much better after having that cry tonight, reading that Bird in the Tree poem. I've got. I can read the actual original. You know how I said it's the sequel to a poem. I can read the other one, but I don't know. Like, maybe I'd. Um, that was so good to go through that book earlier and read all that stuff to you all, and to explain what I meant when I was doing all those things, and how powerful it was for me to do that. Paul says, my oldest son's a musician. We don't talk, but I'm really proud of him. Add Bariska if you want to hear him. Cool. Bariska on YouTube or SoundCloud or something. But I'll write that down so I know to look for that. And we got to find your channel as well. I think it was Paula who was saying, yeah, you got your channel. What is it? Bariska. Bra. Oh, Brassica. Music. Red Rose says, big hug, big hugs, y'all. Loratis Quadrata says, brother, can I ask you something? Yes, mate. You sure can. Then I'll just read your comments for a while so that I can answer what you want. I have a sister in need of intensive and constant care. I'm still young, but soon I'll have to take care of her. Do you have any advice? I have the fear that my life will end, and I know it shouldn't. Well, there's lots of things you can do, like stress. There is that massive fear if you're a carer for someone who's severely disabled or very unwell or something. As the carer, there's that massive fear that what's going to happen after if you die, or if you can't take care of them anymore, if you're the only person. So it's such a big responsibility, and it can make you just stressed out. They're a carer in Australia. We have an association that is like for carers. There's several associations that have free counselling and coaching and support. but the counselling especially is really good. Like you have someone to talk to that can that's something I could maybe advise. Um, but that's a big responsibility you have, and you should be proud that you're there for her. Um, and I can understand how much that would be um, causing a lot of worry, and it's additional pain that you have to actually deal with because you're already dealing with the pain of in that caring role and seeing someone in a state where they're not as capable, or they're injured, or they're sick, and you're feeling their pain, and then on top of that you're feeling this additional pain and worry that what would it be like for them if you're not around, or um, my only advice I could think of is like find like a um, support network in your country that helps carers of carers, and see what they can do to help you. And if, like, I don't know, they can in Australia, the Carers Council. There's several of them, but they'll even help you with money. Like if you're stuck with money, they'll give you money, give you loans. I'm getting coaching, so I've got 6 free coaching lessons, 1 hour on the phone, and they do in-person stuff as well. But I'm being coached by this person who I speak to every couple of weeks, and she's teaching me how to be a better carer for my mum. So that's been the best thing for me. Um, and I write down what problems I've had during the week or the last 2 weeks, and then when I speak to her, we work through the problems, and she gives me solutions to what to work on and how to speak to her and all that sort of stuff. I've missed a whole bunch of comments, but I hope that's answered. Quadrata, I hope that's answered your question. I hope I got your question. I hope the meaning behind what you were asking was right. I just read your. I'm going to jump back to the rest, but yeah, Quadratus says you got me there. We're all crying here, brother. How therapeutic is it? We're all having it. We're all letting our emotions out, and this is cathartic. I've missed a few comments because but that doesn't matter. I don't have to read all the comments. What I'm saying is that we're just having this awesome chat, and like so good. We're all friendly, empathic, loving people that are dealing with a lot, and we found each other on YouTube, so it's such a good thing. Red Rose Poetess says, Luke, you are healing trauma right now, and we all get to be here for you and with you during this process. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I've made, like this week, I had a realization, and it came from stuff I'd been taught by the trauma counselors, and they explained to me what I need to be doing when I get triggered, and how to um, solve it. And I would keep going through the same mistakes, but it finally clicked. I finally worked out what I need to be doing, and that's, I think, why I had that insomnia for a few days, because my life changed. And it's also, I wouldn't be able to get through all this without having you all here. We're all helping each other through this. This is so awesome. Kat's here. How you going, Kat? Oh, you were here earlier, of course. I'm just I hadn't seen your chat for a while. Music is so therapeutic. Di- Didactic? No, didacte? Beyond solaces gets me every time. Oh, that's this. That's the. I'll have to scroll back up. I'll have to look for that song. Beyond solaces gets me every time. Gets those tears flowing, emotions moving. That's so awesome. Because I'm trying to get back into listening to music. Um, it's so good to have referrals of music to listen to, and I've had that few tonight, and I've had a lot recently from friends. So what is that song? Beyond Solaces. That's that. I'll find that. I've written that down in my diary. See, that's awesome. I want to hear it now. So I'll try and. Obviously, I can't get to every comment at the moment because of whenever I start chatting away. Um, oh, that's an awesome comment, Hayoka, to Red Rose Poetess saying, never let those copycats discourage you. That's it. Like the fact that people have copied your work, and that's sad, but they do that. Um, Paula says, oh, okay. Ah, yes, you're talking about your um, Brassica. Yeah, I'm going to check that channel out. Yeah, there's a few people are going to listen to that now. Poetess says to Kat, yes, music's just the very, very best thing for healing. That's the best. Red Rose says to Hayoka, thank you. I do thank you. I don't give I don't even give them a second thought anymore. That's good. You've gotten past that painful stage of people is stealing your stuff or ripping you off or whatever, and just keep putting your art out there. I'm so glad to um, that we found each other, and I love reading your poetry. Quadrata says, "Thank you, brother. Thank you." But I hope I answered your question, like, somehow, because you're in a difficult position. What you're doing, having to be responsible for someone else, and um, good on you for doing that. It's hard work, painful work to do, but and I hear your stress. That's big stress. So see what services there are in your country that can help you, guide you, um, all that stuff. Paula says, "Sorry, I didn't see the comment about the little sister. I didn't mean to chat over that. I can I can relate. It's hard life, but we do it for them." Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. There's a few people here in the chat that are sort of carers or have been a carer and looked after people who are sick or dying, and it's such a painful thing to go through that. And You learn a lot from. I in For me, it's um, helped me go from having no hope and purpose to having purpose and finding hope again. Even though it's still difficult, like I'm loving seeing all these emojis and stuff. They're all cool. Everyone's having a chat with each other. It's so good. The Red Rose Poetess says, Luke, thank you for your very sweet words concerning my poetry. That means so much. No worries. That's it. It's it's beautiful stuff. I love how that I put a photo on Instagram and you were inspired by seeing this photo I put up of the tree and you wrote a poem and then you shared it on Instagram and we collaborated. That made my day, you know. And for you know, especially like people that follow me on, I don't have many followers on there, but like especially family that saw that, um, and friends that saw that, they they're seeing that, how awesome it is, but they're also seeing that they know what I've gone through in the last year, and for them to actually see that sort of stuff is great for them. Like they get to see this awesome, beautiful thing, but they also get to know that, I'm going through this healing process and I'm being active and creative and sharing. So I'm honored too myself. So I want to thank you as well, Red Rose. I see there's like what Paula says. Sorry I was off topic. I don't want to confuse people. Well, look, we're having a chat with the. It's easy. We're all chatting back and forth, so we can all not. We don't have to worry about getting confused about stuff. That's why I'm actually fine making sure that I'm letting the chat happen and sort of, um, you know, um, trying to contribute and, uh, rather than type out in the chat like I'm here chatting. So I'm trying to read out the chats and, we're all chatting back. It's like we're all, like I said last time, we had this big long chat. It's like we're all sitting around a fire, outside, enjoying each other's company. The stars are above, but when we got the fire keeping us warm and we're all having a laugh and a cry we're talking about deep stuff, but we're also having light-hearted conversation as well. So this sort of conversation is awesome because it is varied, you know, and, Red Rose Poetess says, yes, I enjoyed writing those poems about your photography. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm honored that you were inspired by those photos. So yeah, and I will continue. It warms my heart. That's awesome. We'll keep this collaboration going. We're gonna, like I said, we spoke the other day about it. Red Rose is gonna send me, privately some of her poems, and I'm gonna send her some of my poems privately so that she gets to read them. So we're gonna share our art together, which is something that artists do, and it's because I have been disengaged for a while, and so I look forward to getting back into it. And I bit by bit, I sort of have been like all that stuff I read out earlier were poems and stories that I wrote at the start of the year. Um, and I've got many, many more that I've written in that period, that really difficult period. So I look forward to um, sharing more of that, sort of more of that stuff. I've got two short stories I wrote um, a couple of months ago, and I'd like to read them on a stream. Um, and they take each story's like 7 page. There's 7 parts or 7 pages, and um, each part or page is like a different sort of episode or sort of thing. And it's like you could read it all as one short story. Um, so I've got two of those, and they take about I timed them. They take about 15 to 20 minutes to read because they're only so long. They're like 7 pages each. And In the future, I look forward to reading them out in, to share it with you all. I thought about doing like full production on it, recording with good microphones and good camera, and not worry about the live stuff. But I can just it's probably easier for me to just get the stories and read them sometime. So Paula says, "Bless you, Rose, Red Rose." That's awesome. Paula says, "True, Luke. Just go with the flow." I love that. It's a good way to be. Like when you can do that too, like you can both have fun, but you can also helps you to deal with adversity or challenges. If you can go with the flow, you can go. It can help you enjoy things, but it can also help you get through things. Red Rose says to Paula, "Yes, go with the flow." That's it. Poetess continues, "That is like my main thing to remember lately, to just go with the flow." That that's it. With um, you're a strong person, Red Rose Poetess. So, and you're dealing with a lot too. I think we all are dealing with something. That's how we all found each other here, and we're here. We're going through healing, um, and we're going through personal growth and all that. And when times are tough, going with the flow has just helped. Red Rose Poetess says, "I haven't written any poems in a good while, but you've gotten back into it. I know you have. You're writing again. So now you're back writing. So you've had a spell, and it's really encouraging to see you get back into it. And I can't wait to hear what or read your next lot of poetry that you're writing." Red Rose continues, "Ditto with my artist mind. I go from one medium to another, writing poetry, then painting, then automatic doodling, then etc. etc." That's it. That's a great thing to do, is to just don't stick. You can just jump around if you do it. If you do a bunch of things, and look, if you're not like, we're all artists really, um, here, and I think a lot of people are like artists. But if you don't do a lot of right, whatever it is, if you not don't practice much, but you do the other stuff, like whatever it is you're doing in your life, um, things that are creative or give you joy. Um, it is good to like keep jumping around, and it keeps it fresh. And it also means that if you get stuck on one thing, you can always move on to the next thing. So I found that really beneficial for me, and I don't feel like if I don't do something for a while, like I'm looking at one of my instruments here. It's all got dust on it. I've got to clean it. This is a beautiful, like, vintage, very old now synthesizer, which I've made a lot of music on. It's battery operated too, so it's classic old thing. I need to now clean this, give it some respect, and get back into it. And I haven't made music for ages, and I'll get back into it. You know, so if even if it's not like whatever it is you do, like it could be cycling, could be walking, doesn't have to be art in per se, but keep jumping around and go back to it. And if you stop something for a while, it does get to a point where you feel guilty that you're not doing it. And sometimes and then I don't know, there's something about getting back into it, getting back to it. I've got my guitars over there that getting dusty, and I'm worried about when I'm going to be able to play guitar again, but it might be sooner than I think. So POTUS says I go back and forth with whatever artsy thing I feel like doing at the time. That's it. So cathartic making art, or just anything that's cathartic, anything that you can enjoy, get some joy from, or benefit from, because not everyone's like an artist, but we're all artists in some way, even if we don't, you know, make art per se. It could be how it could just be how you make use anything. Like it could be decorating your house, could be your art. You know, putting posters on your wall, and an art work in your house that other people have made, but the way you set it up is creative. Um, Whatever it is, cooking can be creative art. Um, Red Rose says Luke inspired me to start writing some poems again because I haven't written in several months. Oh, thank you. If I've done that, if I've inspired you to get back writing, that means a lot to me, because I've really been able to help someone. Like how, like just by doing these videos. Wow, like wow, that's awesome. That's really good. I think we've all sort of helped each other in some way since I've started. Well, we've started. It's not just me. Like I'm only just the guy streaming. It's just because it's my laptop and I'm the one chatting, and at least for the first half, I'm the only person talking, which is good for me because it gives me a chance to like do stuff like what I did tonight, read out a bunch of things and talk about my life. But then the way it's sort of structured is we get to a point where once I've done that, we just, whoever's in the chat room at the time, we chat like this as long as we can, and enjoy each other's company. And it's awesome. So I think tonight's chat has been just as amazing as the last one that went on for ages. And it was, yeah, so good. Poeta says, yeah, the last poem that I just posted on Instagram with voiceover, that's the very first poem I ever wrote. I'll have to go back, and I did listen to it, and I'll have to go back through and check it out again. And that's so awesome. And there's um, another person on the channel, Fun Like Spinach, who had a similar thing with the sunset. We were talking about sunsets, and she said, "Oh, I love going to watch sunsets. I haven't been for a while, and like I used to go all the time." And so us talking about our shared passion for sunsets, she went, like, we talked about, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch the sunset today," and I said, "Yeah, I'm." And I said that, and she goes, "Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to do that too." And she actually um, went and watched the sunset, and then she came home and wrote a poem herself. She's a poet, or I don't know if she said she writes much, but she wrote a poem about the sunset, and it's a beautiful poem, um, really awesome, and it really, So this shared collaboration thing's happening, eh? How good's that? Like with YouTube and Instagram, and we're all in different parts of the world, and we're having this great interaction. We're using social media for good. How good's that? It's so good to do that. So yeah, we'll all have to find each other on Instagram as well, and um, I try and find people's channels and subscribe to them on YouTube. Anyone who's in the chat. So, um, but yeah, so good. We're all getting to know each other and becoming friends. You know, and so good. Laradis Quadrata says, and I was thinking about going back to painting today. Awesome. See, do it. Do it, mate. Get back into painting. Like, what sort of painting do you do? Is it abstract or realist or surrealist or um, whatever? Like, tell us. Like, maybe you do all different types of painting. Whatever it is, get back into it. So that's awesome. And like you're saying, like you just said, like you said, and I was thinking about. See, there's another coincidence. You were thinking about it today, and now we're sitting in a live stream talking about getting back into art. Isn't that funny how that happens? Like, isn't that just it? That's a We've had a few coincidences today where we've been thinking about something, and then we're in this chat and we're talking about it, and it's like, wow, how powerful. So maybe that's a sign that and again, so you want to get back into you're thinking about getting back into it. So first you create that thought where you at that intention that it's something you want to do, and then it might take a bit of time to actually get back into it, because you've got a lot going on, in your life by the sound of it. And maybe that's why you haven't been painting. You don't have the time for it, or it has been a while. And when it has been a while, like the thought of getting back, you need to be inspired somehow. But maybe you're being inspired by, we're all inspiring each other. But you were already thinking about it today. You were already thinking about it yourself. So that's a sign that it's like the auguries. You know, you see it and go, well, this means something now, and then follow it. So I hope I want to maybe see some of your paintings one day. That'd be awesome. And it's such a cathartic thing, especially it's a great way to take energy, and like you can if you like, it's so hard to describe how awesome it is to make creative stuff. And again, like I was saying, if you don't, even if you don't make creative like art, make make sure that you probably already do stuff that's creative in your life, you know, and you mightn't think it's art, but it really is. And because for some people, um, they're not necessarily afraid, but they think, oh, you know, I just don't make art because I don't. They're either not inspired, or they think that they can't do it. But all it takes is actually doing it in a lot of ways, and you get better at it as along the way. But you know, like I said, it doesn't have to. You know, everything is really art, but you know, that's awesome. Red Rose, you says yes, Luke. You have inspired me. Thank you, and you've inspired me. Like, we're all inspiring each other, and that's awesome. Red Rose says to Loradis Quadrata, yes, awesome. Yes, get back into your painting, mate. Do some painting, and that means you used to paint. So Paula says, I've bought loads of paints. I've surprised myself, Red Rose, but I hold myself back. I'd like to try and sell it as a hobby. Hopefully I'm working toward. That's awesome. So just, yeah, so you paint as well. So just, that's a good thing too. What you just said is like, you know, you've got to buy the paint first, and you got to get the paper or the canvases or whatever. That's what you have to do to start, and then like then you've got the things. It can sit there for a while, like you said, but you hold yourself back. So you might have invested all this money into these things, and they're just sitting there for a while, and you'll think, oh, you know, and it can make you. Um, the longer it sits there, that you think, oh, you know, like it becomes more difficult to actually start the process again. Um, but and you've made the effort to actually do something that you're interested in. So like you've got the materials there. You've already done half the work. So the next thing is to breaking that sort of barrier between actually doing it. So Red Rose says, yes, synchronicity is real, y'all. Absolutely it is. And it's, I think, in the universe, like there's like science behind it all too, you know, with quantum entanglement and things like that, law of like natural attraction of things, and you know, synchronicity is real. There is also the chaotic nature of the universe, um, which is also something, but there's the two there's both. So you can't, it's not one or the other, it's both. So I feel so good now that I've let out those tears earlier, and then we're having this amazing chat. So, and I shared that stuff with you all tonight. Um, Red Rose says to Paula, I feel the same. I had such a bad experience of a day yesterday too. Oh yeah, going back, Paula, really great after a negative day I had yesterday. That's amazing. I think a lot of people in the chat here have had a tough time or tough day yesterday, and now this is great. We're all having a laugh and a smile, and we're feeling it. Like it's so good. Paula says, really therapeutic, Red Rose. I intend to. I'm just so disorganized. Lol. It art is therapy, hey, and and if you don't make art per se, find something that is your therapeutic, cathartic thing to do. Um, and it is difficult, like you say. I'm disorganized myself. That's why, like I guess at the beginning of the video, I was talking about how I use my. This helps me get organized and writing things. That's my calendar. So if you've got a diary or something like that, keep writing in it. Make art or whatever it is. Go for a walk in the bush. Go, that's what I'm doing, and it works. Yeah, awesome. So we're all getting back into things here. We're all rediscovering our passions for things. Loretis Quadrata says, yes, I used to do it a lot, but I don't know. I want to paint this. Yeah, paint the sunrise. That's perfect, mate. Yes, sunrise, and that's it. Sunrise is there's something really, because sunrise, they're so, and they're different, aren't they? So sunrise is after the night and the darkness, and the sunset is like at the end of the day. So they have a different story. So it's sort of like you can gravitate towards something you prefer more often. And sunrise, there's this refreshing thing about it. Like it's you know one's going from dark to light, and the other one's going from light to dark. So it's like from you know one's going like as far as daytime, one's that goes from nothing to beginning, and the other thing goes from the thing to the end. So they do have different sort of meanings you can apply to it. Yeah, do it. Oh, that's it. Lauratis Quadrata is going to do a sunrise painting sometime in the future. Oh, Quadrata says I used to paint my dreams, but I'm self-taught. I don't have background. So you can teach yourself. You don't have to go to art school to learn how to paint. Um, you just keep doing it, and you get better at it. I can't wait to see what you do. I can't. One day in the future, you'll send me a message and you'll say, "Oh, Luke, I've done this painting. I want you to see it," and I'll get to see it. That's awesome. And the same with Paula, Red Rose, and I don't know if Hayoka's still here, but he's in. He's creative himself. I don't know if he does painting or whatever, but he's creative, and it's inspiring to see him. Um, you know, um, work through some really difficult stuff. So like, I'm thinking about you, mate. You're a good fella. Red Rose says, like with my painting, I will go for several months in a row making paintings and may not paint another painting for several years, but then always comes back around. That's good to remember that you can put something down and stop doing it, and then you can come back to it, and just even if it is years. So I do that with music. Like I've gone through periods of many years where I wouldn't make music, and then I'd suddenly make lots of music, and then I'll put it down again, and I'll come back to it again. You know, if you for people who try and make money or no, well, not necessarily make money, people who want to be a career type thing, they have to actually um, feel like they have to keep doing it and not stop. So, but you can't just keep doing everything forever. You need to take breaks. How you going, Nin? Good to see you here. you asked the question, who inspires you in your creativity? That's a difficult question. I think lots of people. Um, I get inspired by nature a lot, art for creativity. Whether whatever type of thing, like nature is a big thing, um, and I do get inspired by other artists. Um, so I certainly am inspired by other artists, um, with especially with music and stuff. Like there's music I like, and then it's not like I'm trying to mimic it, but I just like to play in that style, and I try and make whatever I do original. But it's because I like that particular style, so I'll be inspired not necessarily by people themselves, more so things like the elements of nature and um, the types of styles of things that I like, and then what I'll do is I'll try and make it, or just you know um, make my version of it. So yeah, I think they're the main things that inspire me. Yeah, Red Rose says to Quadrata, yes, you have it already. All you have to do is do it. No perfection. Just paint what your heart and soul speaks. That's a great thing. When I write, oh, that's right. Hayoka's. I kept forgetting Hayoka. You. Because I was wondering what um stuff, because you were saying you'd write poetry yourself, mate, and you've gotten up on stage and read your poetry on stage. So that's awesome. I forgot about that. That's really awesome. Um, Red Rose says, when I write my nature poetry or when I paint, etc., I don't think about what I'm going to write or paint or whatever. I let guiding energy take over, and then it flows from my pen or paintbrush or whatever into the paper, etc. That is a great way, and I do that sort of too with a lot of, especially the music. I do that with music, like I sort of will improvise or just play, and then all of a sudden I get an idea because I'm playing like a thing over and over, and then I'm like, wow. And then I keep working on it, and I go, oh, I can imagine this in a structure now, and then suddenly I've written a song. And I have used to done. Oh, sorry, I used to do a lot of improvised experimental stuff with sound art, sound music, art music. I don't know. With that sort of work, that's improvised. You just plug everything in and turn it on, and just try and just not think about it at all, and just play what you play from your heart, and that's really awesome to do. So um, and yeah, that's a great way to do it, is to just sort of channel the energy and let it flow. So yeah, say you could just imagine you have a blank canvas, and just you can sit there thinking for a while, and then sometimes, and that's what I was talking about earlier with this sort of journal book, like making a practice where you start off and you just start writing, and then you might write a few different things, and then suddenly the energy, the it suddenly it just happens, and then out of nowhere, like you're writing this story, and it just grows, and it becomes um, this thing. Um, Quadrata says the red rose poetess and it is the hardest part, but listen to Luke, and you're all inspired me. That's awesome. That's all. That is so good. We're all like, I'm so glad we're here for each other, and we're in so many different ways we've been able to like give each other a, a reason to get back into something that we haven't done for a while. Or, I mean, that's awesome. Paula says everyone needs interests and people who care to talk to. I'll be thinking about this today. Feel I've got new friends. Well, I feel like you're a new friend straight away, Paula. That's I'm so glad you're here, and we'll all find each other on Instagram or subscribe to each other's channels on YouTube or whatever, just so we can keep in contact, even if you don't make videos. But I want to you got to find your channel with your nature stuff so we can watch your nature videos. Red Rose Poetess says to Loretta's Quadrata, isn't that wonderful? Just so wonderful. Yeah, like how awesome. And then Quadrata says, what I like the most of the sunrise is the moment before the sun, when gently of the moon moves away for the sun to come. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome, especially when they're sharing the sky at the same time. And I love how the moon follows its own sort of path over the month, sort of goes around the earth like that. So sometimes it's rising. It's like sometimes the moon's rising before the sunset, and sometimes it's gone before the sun rises. But when the moon's there at the same time and they're sharing the sky at the same time, that's pretty special, magical moment. I love that too. And that's what I love. There's so much variation. Red Rose says, I'm self-taught too. Yeah, that's it. We all like. I did go to art college and stuff, but I never really, I went there and I never really. I'm just more self-taught myself. So I think it's the way to go. Is teach yourself and do it. You learn by doing, and you get better at it as you go along. More and more you do it. Quadrata says, I'm going to do it. That's so awesome. I can't wait to see your sunrise. And I can imagine it now. It's going to have the moon in it as well. So you'll have the sun and the moon in the same picture. And yeah, maybe you're going to do a series. Maybe there'll be a few of them, you know. That's awesome. Paula says, I'll send you a couple of things. If you've got an email, I can send it to you. Like, yeah, I haven't put my email on here. But if you've got Instagram, find me on Instagram. My Instagram link is in the bio to my not Facebook. The Instagram link is in my bio on my YouTube page. So on my channel page in the bio, it's got a link to there. So that's how you can get in contact with email. And then from there, I'll give you my email address if you want to send email. And then if that helps, if that can work, definitely. But I'll get you my email address somehow. Red Rose Poetess says to Quadratus, same with the sunrise. Yeah, I can't wait to see these sunrise paintings. And then poetess says continues, I wrote a lot of poems about sunrise, sunsets, just all kinds of periods about nature. Yeah, that's what I love about like the change. The change that you see, the change. There's so much variation in the world, like um, with nature. So it's inspiring. Nature inspires me a lot. Um, Ultra Hayoka says, I'm trying to rest and recharge a bit because if I don't manage to pay my Subway sandwich, no, I don't manage to pay my Subway sandwich with crypto today, I'm going to eat with homeless again like yesterday. Dude, that is real life poetry. Feeling for you, brother. While you're there, it says you're further down in the comment you say, but I'm listening. Well, that's good. Just lay there listening, and you can hear us. And that's the beauty of that, because I'm reading the comments out. You don't have to be reading the comments as well. You can and know what's going on. And man, I hope things get better for you, dude. Uh, you're such a strong person to be going through all this stuff, and um, I saw that video the other day where you manifested money. So try do that again. But it's so unfortunate we live in this world like this where it's hard, like just you know getting getting by with limited funds is. I mean, I'm really fortunate where I am, and so I see what you're going through, and I feel for you, brother. Um, but the universe does provide, so like just keep going, keep doing, and keep pushing through, and things will get better. Red Rose Poetess says to the Quadrata, yes, you do it, and just do it when you feel like it, and then you'll have breaks in between. It will always be there waiting for you. That's awesome. Red Rose Poetess says to Ultra Hayoka, glad you're still here with us listening. Oh, so yeah, I figured that you were resting and listening. That's awesome. Quadrata says thank you to the Red Rose. Yeah, look, we're all inspiring and supporting and caring for each other. This is such a friendly environment here. So nice to have this, like with the internet, you know. It's we just automatically have these chats have just become, they just go wherever they go. We start them off, and um, we we we've been talking like about getting back into things tonight, and also rediscovering our passions and things, and we've also been supporting each other and inspiring each other, and also we've also been um, sharing, like, or talking, or we're going to find a way to share afterwards, after the chat. So like Paula's going to find me on Instagram, and then we'll email each other, or like I'm gonna find her her art, and I think we're all going to do that. So we're all going to keep in contact. It's great when like how would the YouTube algorithm, our algorithm has found us, allowed us to find each other, and then we can become friends, and we can then continue on um, after this chat, which is just awesome. Ultra Hayoka says, thanks, brother. It took me 2 months to recover my crypto, and then I couldn't spend it, cash out. Yeah, that must be difficult. Like, and that's probably one of the difficulties with crypto, I guess, that there are ways to actually convert it into cash, but then if there isn't nearby, then it makes it impossible to actually use it. You might have some there, but yeah, but Quadrata says, brother, I'm gonna go. Here is midday, and I'll meet with a friend, and it's a nice sunny day. Big hug, brother. Super happy to see your great improvement, and big hug to everybody. Amazing people in the chat with the love heart there. Well, thanks for being here tonight, Loratis Quadrado. We've all enjoyed talking with you and chatting and sharing, and can't wait to see you painting, and go and enjoy the awesome sunny day. It's perfect time of day to go and get outside and meet up with a friend. So I look forward to seeing you next time, mate. And then it says Laradis Quadrata says, thank you, you made my day. Well, thank you. I think we've all made each other's day. This is awesome. But thank you that you said that. Thank you. Have an awesome, you still got the rest of the day too to have good times. So Hager says it's kind of adventurous too. Red Rose Poetess says vulnerability, compassion, understanding, great friendships equals great. Sorry, vulnerability, compassion, understanding equals great friendships. I think that's very true, and you need. I think if you have all of those three things, then it's great recipe for a great friendship. So I had no, um, I had an amazing chat with someone last night, and it was very heavy. We talked about some very heavy stuff, and I think there was those three things, vulnerability, compassion, understanding. Then, and we're getting that tonight. Red Rose Poetess says, "Y'all, please just find me on Instagram because it takes me forever to find people on Instagram, and I want to make sure that I'm friends with the exact people." That's it. Well, yeah, I think that'll be the way we. Yeah, I think we'll find Instagram will be the way we find each other. I think Quadrata's left, but hopefully he read the message there before he left that Red Rose says to have an awesome day to Quadrata. Paula says, I avoid looking at the channel since I gave up on it. I really better get moving. So see you all later. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I'm so awesome. We've had this chat tonight. We've all been having this awesome chat. So I hope to have hope you have the remainder of your day is just as awesome. It's been really nice to have you here. So Red Rose says, "Yeah, Paula, have a great day." Erica says to the Red Rose Poetess, "I don't use Instagram anymore, but I've got my email in the channel description." So yeah, you can find each other that way. Um, that's how. Um, yeah, I don't have my email in my description. I've just got Instagram, but we were able to connect that way with Ayako. We've chatted. Paula says, "Thanks to Luke, Red Rose, etc. Look forward to speaking to you all again soon." Yes, well, thank you, and we will. I'll be trying to do this once a week. Sometimes I'll post stuff more often, um, but I like to do this once a week, sort of, where I start the chat. No, sorry, I start the stream and I talk about myself, and I do maybe read some poetry or something. And I'll be doing my reading a short story maybe next time, and then after that's finished, then I open up to start reading all the comments. So, and I can't wait to watch this back now to read the comments at the beginning, because for the whole start, while I was reading all those little poems and stuff, I everyone was chatting, so I want to see the chat then, so I get to watch back again. Sometimes YouTube doesn't show the the chat when you watch a video, so but then it'll appear. But I've got it there, so the chat replay will be there. Um, Ultra Hayoka says to Leradis Quadrata, "I wish you a great day too." That's awesome. Red Rose says to Ultra Hayoka, 100%. Yeah, so you guys will keep in contact, and we'll you'll we'll all find each other here, and Red Rose says to Paula, same right back to you. Red Rose Poetess also goes on and says, "Yes, I'll watch the replay today too. I missed the live for a while before I was able to join in." That's awesome. Well, you'll get to hear me talk about sort of life change and how I'm doing it, and you know how I'm going about it, and what it entails, how I've sort of finally realised maybe a future job for me, and so there's courses I need to do, but it means I'll be able to work for myself, um, or possibly work for a company. But just I've got to do a bit of study, and then I started reading all those poems from my journal book. So if you join the stream halfway through or whatever, like, you'll get to go back through and hear all the other ones. And you know what? I think there was a few for some reason that these are all ones I was going to read, and I didn't read them. Like, I don't know if it's too late to go back to it. It's too late now, you know. But I went through quite a few reading of those things. I really enjoyed doing that, and then talking about what I was thinking about at the time and all that. So it was very cathartic for me to do. Ultra Heroica says to Paula, see you next time. That's awesome. Red Rose Poetess says, I can't believe my weak cell signal has not cut me off yet. Yeah, that's awesome. This is working. See, that's amazing when that happens. You know, there's power and energy there, and it's like saying it's like this. We're having such a good chat. You know, that it's keeping you there, keeping us here together. Kat says, same. I've been in and out tonight, but I'll listen to the replay as I've missed a bit. Thank you, Kat. Like, glad you're back again. And I would think I was talking about the sunset poem earlier, so you'll hear me talk about that. Such a beautiful poem. Um, Kat says, Red Rose to Kat says, yeah, 100%. Red Rose, I love that, Luke. That's awesome. I've had such a good time tonight. We've hit 3 hours. I'll probably like. Um, I can do these sort of streams and like. I will have to go and check on Mum soon because now's the time of night when Dad's going to sleep. So I know that I have to sort of take over as like um, being there with her if she's having difficulty at this time of night. So I will have to end the stream soon myself. So Red Rose Poetess says, I'm excited to watch the replay later. It will be highlight. It will be the highlight of my day. That's awesome. See, I'm smiling again. And Kat says, yeah, I look forward to hearing your poems. You know, because Kat was saying that she's gonna watch it, watch the replay. So yeah. Red Rose Poetess says, I've had a great time too. I need to go as well. Catch y'all later. Big hugs to everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight, Red Rose. Like, it's been so good. You know, we've all enjoyed your company, and you've really been there in the chat and saying some amazing things to everyone. So, yeah, have an awesome rest of your day and enjoy watching the replay. And Red Rose says, yeah, I've had a great time too. I just read that one. But yeah, it's a good one. Big hugs to everyone. Um, Ultra Hayoka says to the Red Rose, big heart, you know, big, much love. Kat says, see you next time, Red Rose. That's awesome. Red Rose says, so thankful, grateful to be here with everyone. That's it. I'm so grateful to everyone as well, like helping me through all this stuff and sharing. And we've become friends, and we're inspiring each other. Like all of these amazing things. Like it's such a great thing. You know, we're using social media and the internet for good, and it's giving us all good, great experiences. And Yeah, Red Rose says, "Thank you all so much." No worries. Ultra Hack says, "Wow, I don't want to go back to real life." You made me smile and laugh, mate. That's true. Yeah, that's it. Because the stream will be ending soon, and we all have to go back to real. We have to go back to real life. But you're fighting through it, mate. You're pushing through. Um, but I'm gonna. Hayoka continues, but I'm gonna spend it today big time. Yeah, yeah. Just keep pushing through, mate. You've got a difficult time in your life, mate, and you're talking it out through. You're working through problems. So you're a very strong person, and you're working through difficult situations. So um, it's inspiring for me to see the strength you have. Red Rose Poeta says, "Stay strong, my friend." To Ultra Hayoka, and Kat, you says you've created a beautiful community, Luke. It's so nice to connect with you and everyone here. It's truly like a group of friends by a campfire. It's so nice. That's so awesome. Yeah, it is like that, isn't it? Like we're keeping each other warm and as well, and um, we're sharing personal stuff, but we're also having just this fun, free flowing conversation. So that's awesome. I love that comment, Kat. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I've only just sort of, I guess, I've created the community, but we've built this community together. We've all found each other, ha- and we're the ones having this conversation, and you know, it's just amazing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So Ultra Hayoka says, back to the red rose. Yes, with the swords, staying strong, mate. That's it. Stay strong. Kat says, see ya, Hayoka. And then Hayoka back to Kat. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's it. I love that comment Kat said about friendly, nice community, connect with these beautiful community. And it's truly like a group of friends by a campfire. It's so nice. That's such an awesome comment. Red Rose, I love this one. Red Rose Poetess says, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. That's a great, that's such a great thing to like a mantra to say, to think, to an exercise to practice. And it's a great way to just get through stuff for, even if, whether it's like to remain present in the moment and to enjoy each each day or each hour, each minute, each second, or whether it's also going through tough times. It's the same thing, like you go through the tough times one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. So that's a really powerful thing, that one. I love it. Because yeah, I think I'm going to shut the chat. Not the chat, well, the chat, but I'm going to close the stream any minute now because I've got to go check on mum. And we've been here for over 3 hours now, and we've all had a awesome evening. So Red Rose Poetess says to Ultra Hairka, "You've got this. You're much stronger than you realize or could even fathom. You are a strong person, mate." And Hairka says, "Thank you, Luke, for your words. Mean a lot to me, and thanks for the chat. I'm going to face my day now with a smile." That means a lot to me, mate. Thank you so much for that. And you've got, and you, you got support from all of us here, mate. So good. So Red Rose says to Hayoka, "I love that." Kat says, "It is warm, extra nice when it is so chilly out," with a smile. "It's not often to meet people so warm, open, and kind. I look forward to your lives to connect with everyone." That's it. Take care all until next time. Kat continues. Thank you for that, Kat. That's really means a lot to me. That um, I really am overwhelmed how much I get out of these chats. Um, and I think we're all becoming friends, you know, which is something special. Um, yeah, that we are, and Kat, we are going to connect with like we're all going to connect with each other through this. Now we found each other, and there'll be next time, you know, we'll hopefully next week, you know, it'll happen again. So we can just keep having these chats. And Kat says, "Take care all till next time." Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna close the stream probably in less than a minute. So I just want to take this opportunity and well, here we go. Hayoka says to Kat, "Yeah, big heart, much love." I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone again, like being able to share this stuff I did earlier, you know, and even being able to get let some tears out. That was pretty hard reading that poem. Well, it wasn't hard. It was because I had to try and keep reading it and not let the not let the tears and the crying stop me from reading it. So that was really special for me, and just I also feel so much better now of having let that emotion out. Um, like I said, I haven't cried. I haven't been able to cry much, and I've been going through a lot where I needed to cry. So, and then after I did all that, we've had this awesome chat. Like, it is so good, and I look forward to next time. You know, probably this same time next week, most likely. So, you know, it's going to be awesome. So thank you, and thank you for listening to me on and being here with me on this journey. You know, things are getting better, and people are telling me that they're noticing it. Things are getting better for me as I go through this. So it is working, really is, and it's only because of the love and support from you all. So I'm going to end this stream here, and what we'll do is we'll do it again soon. You know, much love to you all. Really, really much. I'm overwhelmed. I can't wait till next time. See y'all.